All right, says I'm live. Hi, my name is Tyree Simon, and this is the UFC Fight Night Recap, episode 29 of MMA Renegade. Uh, I know this is a surprise for many of you guys because usually I try to tape these things. I've been trying to tape these regular Fight Night shows and do more of the UFC pay per view recaps. But I'm actually trying out some new equipment that I bought and I'm working on to enhance the video a little bit. I have a tripod with lighting. I have a new mic here, so I'm just trying to test it out a little bit, see how it works before I start doing some projects that I'm working on. So yeah, I wanted to just test it out, and I figured, what, I last week I did a live show, but it wasn't really it wasn't really the best live show. I was lagging. I thought like a little bit on my end. Um, didn't have power and then Wi-Fi. Now I do. And so yeah, I decided to just test this out and just see how it works. Oh, I'm glad it's freaking dirty. That's dirty. So yeah, but yeah, I wanted to just test this out and hopefully you guys get any input on just how the equipment and everything sounds as well. Um, yeah, hope the audio got a new microphone, got a tripod, extra lighting. I think it looks a little bit better, but not as dark as it was before. So that's always perfect. Look a lot better. I think. Um, so yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday or whatever your day, whenever you're watching this. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. So we have UFC Fight Night: Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev in the light heavyweight division. Now, this fight, gotta be honest with you, this fight fell under the radar just because you know I think everybody's looking forward to next week's card. Like I think next week card has got a lot more promotion, a lot more talk than this card. Next week or this week rather, we get the UFC London show, which has been a long time in the making. They've been trying to do a UFC London show for a while. Go back until they wanted to do Leon Edwards, I believe, in Tyron Woodley in England, and that fell through. They wanted to do Darren Till versus Brunson in England, and that failed. So there's been multiple attempts, but the UFC's been trying to go to London, and this is also I think going to be their first live show uh, for a fight night. It could be their first live show for a fight night uh, since the pandemic. I think the last fight night with fans was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira in Brazil. And I think that one, I'm not sure there was fans there. I think that was also the time when the pandemic was going on there. I think that was it was in Brazil, but it was also without fans. If I'm not mistaken. I'll go back and check. But no, yeah. So this is like with fans, with the home crowd. You have a lot of people from England. You have the heavyweight Tom Espinal fighting Alexander Volkov. So that's be an interesting fight to see where Tom Espinal, a big prospect in the heavyweight division, a division that needs new blood. He's seen somebody that's been on the rise. I believe he's won at least 7 fights in a row so far. He's won his last 4 fights, all by stoppage. So Tom Espinal is a guy that you know is going to be the guy that they think coming out of England that could potentially fight for a heavyweight title, which is interesting. You know, and I think Tom Espinal, if you look at it, I think he has a good chance to really fight for a title. He has the tools. Let's see what he do on the ground a little bit more. Let's see what he does defensively, but his striking is solid. He seems like he has a good mindset for the game as well. So I'm interested to see what Tom Espinal does. And he has a big task ahead of him against Alexander Volkov, a guy that is tested, a guy that has fought the best, a guy that is tall for that division. What I mean tall is, for a heavyweight, he towers over a lot of heavyweights. Um, I think he's 6'4", 6'6", I believe. Um, and there's not a lot of guys are bigger than him in a fight. So we need to see how Tom Espinal deals with that. At least Tom Espinal is like he is 6'3". I think he's like 6'3". I'm mistaken. Let me see right here. Tom Espinal. Oh, Tom Espinal is 6'5". Why is he bigger than I thought? Yeah, and Volkov is 6'7". He's 6'7". So that should be interesting. That should be interesting to fight. I gotta be honest with you. I'm way more interested in the UFC London card than I was this card. To be honest with you, even though this card was surprisingly good. You had Magomed Ankalaev versus Thiago Santos. You also had Marlon Moraes versus Song Yadong. Bruce Leroy was on the card. There's a bunch of good uh, names on this card, but I'm just I felt like the UFC's hype wasn't there for this card. I felt like a lot of the attention wasn't for this card. I was also working yesterday, so I didn't even really, you know, I had to watch it on the replay. And I just I don't know, man. I just feel like the UFC is really, really, really marketing and really looking at this Saturday's UFC London card than anything. I think that's where everybody's waiting for, is those moments. You get Paddy Pimblett's going to be on the card. You got Tom Espinal, like I said. It's going to be their big return to England in such a long time. It should be a special night. It should be a special night. But with that being said, let's get right into it with the UFC fight night, Magomed versus Santos. And this fight was not great. If I'm being honest with you, it was not great. It was not entertaining at all. Um, and that's subjective, right? Some people may think it's entertaining, some people not. I thought it was a little bit lackluster, and I thought that a lot of respect was there for each other. Um, so Santos did knock Magomed down, I believe, in the second round. But outside of that, it was pretty much Magomed Ankalaev taking over. And I thought that, maybe a little bit too much respect was shown for Thiago Santos. And, you wonder, people talked about Thiago Santos as the guy, he gave John Jones a run for his money. And he's a guy that, if given another opportunity after his surgery and if he fully healed, he could be a problem in that division. And I feel like the threat of Thiago Santos since then, right, since his fight with John Jones, has diminished greatly. Thiago Santos is a guy that he does have power, he does have speed. You can make an argument he's a little undersized for that division, but that's okay. He has power, he has the speed, and I I I just don't see that that aura that we saw from him leading up to the John Jones fight. Remember we saw Thiago Santos just knocking people out and hurting people. Flatpot says he's going to drive. Good seeing you, man. Good seeing you. Um, Thiago Santos had this aura about him where he was a guy that you thought, okay, he has the speed, he also has the power that could give people problems in this light heavyweight division. He beat John Blachowicz, the former champion. He beat Jimmy Minowa by knockout. He beat Eric Anders by knockout. Like he was just going through these light heavyweights. And so when he got his opportunity with John Jones, and he gave John Jones a little bit of a problem. Some people say he gave John Jones a problem. Some people say he may have won the fight. I look at it more as John Jones practically was treating it as just another day in office and really wasn't taking it seriously. But some people think that Thiago Santos won that fight against John Jones. And people were anticipating his return after he, recovered from his injuries, his torn ACLs. And we just haven't seen that guy that had that so much promise early on. Since his John Jones fight, he lost to Glover Teixeira, who was the champion. No shame in that. Lost to Alexander Ranchik, who by unanimous decision. Beat Johnny Walker by unanimous decision, but that fight, it really didn't stand out for me for Johnny Walker or Thiago Santos. It was much of just a their fight. And this one is a little bit of the same, where it's just a their fight where um, Thiago Santos and Magomed Ankalaev, Thiago Santos not showing that guy that like he could be a threat in the light heavyweight division. The guy that knocked out Jimmy Manuwa, the guy that knocked out who forgot who Jimmy Manuwa, he knocked out John Blachowicz. I keep forgetting he knocked him out because it was so long ago. And Eric Anders. We haven't seen that guy in a minute. And I don't know if we will be. I don't know if we will. I think times have changed a little bit for Thiago Santos. I think he showed yesterday he can still have power. He can still hurt you. But I think the light heavyweight division at the same time is also getting better and better with the competition. Like we're now getting the guys like Jamal Hill coming up. We're getting Magomed Ankalaev, who we fought. We're getting Alexander Ranchik, who we lost to already. Uh, you still got people like Ryan Spans still out there. That could be a problem. You got guys like, you know, Dustin Jacoby, who's going to be coming up soon. Jerry Prochaska. There are guys in this division. Dominic Reyes, whenever he returns and whenever he gets healthy, he could still be a problem. Like that light heavyweight division. At one point, people thought that Thiago Santos was going to be the boogeyman of that division, and it seems more and more likely that maybe he's kind of going to have to fight his way after being stuck in the pack. That makes sense. Like he's not the guy that you thought was going to dominate anymore. The division is evolved. The division has a lot of talent than what it had, and now we're going to see Thiago Santos have to fight his way and earn his keep in this division. I wonder how he's going to do that, and I wonder how he's going to how his career in heavyweight division is going to be when you're going to be dealing with the guys that are going to be bigger, guys that have maybe the power advantage a little bit, the size, and I wonder how he deals with that. So, and also if that instinct for him to go in and try to demolish his opponents is not there, and he's showing too much respect, or he's trying to be cautious. I wonder how that happens with how that pans out for him, especially for a guy that I think thrives more on moving forward and causing chaos than staying on a back foot and waiting against a guy that maybe has a better reach advantage, better length. Uh, yeah, I'm interested to see how Thiago Santos goes from here. Um, it's not to say that Thiago Santos can't rebound back. We've seen Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith was a guy that we thought after the John Jones fight he may be done, and now we see Anthony Smith, right back in the conversation, being a title contender. He's ranked number 4 in the world. So, it's Thiago Santos could always come back. But I thought last night was kind of a realization that Thiago Santos may not have been the guy that people thought he was going to be. He may not be the guy people thought he was going to be in the lightweight division. So, Magomed Ankalaev, he looked pretty good. I like the fight against Anthony Smith. I think that could be an entertaining fight. By the way, Flat, since you're watching this live, please tell me if you hear any static, anything like that. I'm trying to test out this equipment and just see how it looks. And yeah, I thought Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Smith makes more sense. Not ready to say he's a clear title contender yet, but he's impressive. He's impressive. I do think we need to see another fight, maybe one or two before we get the title shot. And co-main event. This one was, the real just wow. The real oh my god, I can't believe that happened. Is Song Yadong beating Marlon Moraes. Oh, thank you. Sounds perfect. Great. Song Yadong beating Marlon Moraes. That one for me, even though I Song Yadong is gifted, he's legit, he has power, he has speed. I was surprised at just where Marlon Moraes is at right now in his career. Right? You gotta go back and think. When Marlon Moraes came to the UFC, he was going through everyone. Marlon Moraes on his way to fighting for a title was legit going through everyone. Beat the former champion. Beat not the former champion. Beat the current champion, but through technicality, Aljamain Sterling. Beat Aljamain Sterling by knockout. Brutal knockout at that. He was a guy that was going in there. He beat Jimmy Rivera as well. Beat Rafael Sunsao. Beat John Dodson. Was just going through everybody since coming to the UFC and giving people problems. He had the one loss early in his first fight in the UFC with against Rafael Sunsao. Some people thought he won that fight, but he was going through everybody in a division, and he got a revenge on Rafael Sunsao. And when he fought Henry Cejudo, everybody thought, well, Marlon Moraes was going to beat Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo was too small. Henry Cejudo was coming up from flyweight to bantamweight. And, Marlon Moraes is going to be the champion. And Marlon Moraes, it's not something, but it seemed like the moment, and I'm trying to find the right words for Marlon, trying to be like delicate, nice. It seemed like Henry Cejudo pushed Marlon Moraes to a point where Marlon Moraes couldn't overcome. I'll say that. I think Henry Cejudo pushed Marlon Moraes to a point he couldn't overcome, and I think that kind of messed with Marlon Moraes' head a little bit. And since then, it kind of felt like we've been seeing the decline of Marlon Moraes, right? Henry Cejudo, loses the first round to Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes was good, and then we see Henry Cejudo rally back, and then we see Marlon Moraes on a stool, and his coaches are trying to talk him into waking up and trying to get into the fight and everything like that. And sooner rather than later, we see Marlon Moraes get finished by Henry Cejudo. And I always go back to that moment because it felt like at that moment we seen the spirit of Marlon Moraes kind of get hurt a little bit, right? The body, everything looks good. It's just the spirit of Marlon Moraes looked hurt, and he looked like he mentally checked out. And I always look back at that moment because just where Marlon Moraes was going, his trajectory was going up. I thought he could probably be the next champion, and who's going to stop him? And lo and behold, Henry Cejudo comes to flyweight, goes to bantamweight, beats Marlon Moraes, and it seems like Marlon Moraes hasn't been the same guy since. Since that loss, he fought Jose Aldo, won that by split decision. I thought Jose Aldo beat Marlon Moraes. And then from there, he's faced 4 knockouts back to back to back to back. Lost to Corey Sandhagen by knockout. Lost to Rob Font by knockout. Lost to Mariah Devlishi. I'm butchered that name, but you know who that guy is. And then Song Yadong. He's just been through the ringer, and just ever since that loss to Henry Cejudo hasn't been the same. And again, that Jose Aldo fight, I thought Jose Aldo beat Marlon Moraes too. So I would technically say he's lost 5 fights in a row, but just gave Marlon Moraes that win. It's very interesting to see how things could change in MMA in the UFC. Looking at how Aljamain Sterling fight, you thought the Aljamain Sterling fight when he lost to Marlon Moraes, he was going to be done. He's gonna have a hard time getting back to a title, and now he's the champion. He's gonna fight for the undisputed title against Peter Yan in next in a couple of weeks. And then Marlon Moraes is a guy who we thought after that win against Aljamain Sterling was gonna be the guy. It's gonna be that guy like a Jose Aldo, like a I'm blanking on his name. He used to be a bantamweight champion. Beat T. Dillashaw beat him twice. I'm blanking on his name. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. He was such a good fighter in the UFC, and then the decline happened. I'll think of it later, but yeah, it's just interesting to see where Marlon Moraes is at right now in his career. And for Song Yadong, this is a big win for him. It's a very, very big win. It's a guy that was ranked, I think number 15, I believe, and now he's going to be number 14, and now he's going to be in the top 10. He called out Dominic Cruz. I like that fight a lot. Would I rather see him fight Sean O'Malley? Yes, but Sean O'Malley says he wants Pedro Munhoz, so we'll see how that fight goes. But I can also see a Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong fight. I think that'd be pretty cool. And yeah, I'm more just looking at Marlon Moraes, just where he's going in his career, and I wonder if the UFC decides to cut him. I wonder if the UFC decides to cut him just because of just not only the record, but the performances that he's had. And we see that moment where he took his gloves off in the cage. I wonder if that's him retiring or contemplating retirement, or if that's just his frustration. I don't know, but it obviously seems like he's also thinking about his future as well and what is next for him as well. So it means to see what he does. You know, regardless, that he had a great career in UFC. May not have gone way it went, but I'll always remember just Marlon Moraes the rise to the title and just how he was just going through people and just that moment with Henry Cejudo and just how a moment in a fight or just you know the if a person could put you in this mindset, it could mess up your whole entire fight, and then it can mess up other fights down the line. So that's interesting to see for that. It's just a case study with that. Sadiq Yusuf versus Alcaceres. I thought Sadiq Yusuf doing what he does and just being dominant. Uh, Sadiq Yusuf is a guy that has only lost to Arnold Allen, but even that fight that was competitive as well. I would love to see what Sadiq Yusuf goes next. I would love to see Sadiq Yusuf fight a guy, in the top 10. I would love to see him fight a guy like a Giga uh, maybe a Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell's on a rise. I don't know if fight somebody within the top 5, but I definitely think he should fight a guy like a Giga who has somebody that maybe struggled with the wrestling. Now you got to fight Sadiq Yusuf and see how he does with that. Bryce Mitchell, that'd be an interesting fight as well. So I would love to see those two fight. Those either of those two fights. What else on the card? Khalil Rountree doing what he does best. Khalil Rountree is a guy that kind of reinvented himself. Now training more. No, it's Muay Thai. Muay Thai. Not kickboxing. Muay Thai. Uh, training more Muay Thai, and looks impressive. Yeah, yeah. Sadiq Yusuf is a very well-rounded guy. And that's why I like the Giga Chikadze fight. I think the Giga Chikadze fight makes a lot of sense just to see, what Giga Chikadze will do against a guy like Sadiq Yusuf. And it's a good test for Sadiq Yusuf as well. Sadiq Yusuf, he has the loss against Arnold Allen, but I thought even in that loss, he looked pretty good. So I would love to see him fight a guy like Giga Chikadze who fought in the main event before. That could potentially be a main event itself. And I think he's due for one. I think he do. I think he is. I think he's a guy that you could put stock in and say he could be the next guy up in that featherweight division. I do. I do. Tracy McKinney losing to Drew Dober. Almost had him. Almost had him. And then it just went left. It just went left. And that's the game you play. That's the game you play. Uh, I wonder if he kind of takes it back a little bit and kind of just looks at fights and tries to, maybe pick his fights a little bit more and not go with the fighting on short notice. I know fighting on short notice looks impressive. I know it looks, uh, it pleases the fans. It pleases the UFC, Dana White. However, I do think styles make fights. I do think time of preparation also helps. And I think that Tracy McKinney is a star, and I think he should be. He don't have to do that. He could do that. It's not when it's right, but I think Tracy McKinney. I think he's somebody that is special, and I think he's somebody that you could see potentially fighting for you know a title. I think he could. I think he's special. I do think he's special. Um, or at least being a contender in the future. You know, but I thought the Drew Dober fight, one being on short notice, Drew Dober is a problem. So McKinney fight was stopped too quick, I think, but he didn't protest the stoppage. No. It was a good stoppage. It was a good stoppage. Drew Dober's a problem. Drew Dober is not somebody you take lightly, not somebody that you fight on short notice, and that's why a lot of people don't want to fight Drew Dober as much. Drew Dober is a not only is he a problem, not only does he punch hard, he's also a dog. Drew Dober will take adversity like he takes adversity very well, and if you hurt Drew Dober, you have to make sure you put Drew Dober out because Drew Dober will come back stronger, and he'll try to finish you. And that's kind of what he did here. You know, Drew Dober is that guy. If you go back and watch the Brad Riddle fight, There's other fights you could look at where Drew Dober is not only physically tough but also mentally tough, and you gotta do a hell of a lot to try to knock him out or finish him. And that's why it makes the Islam Makhachev fight so special. It's just how he beat Drew Dober. So yeah, I definitely think that maybe Trace McKinney kind of if not only if you're gonna take short notice fights, maybe consider who you're fighting and just the preparation, what you need for it, and just game planning for it. Because, like I said, Drew Dober is no pushover. He's not a guy that you just come in on short notice and it's going to be an easy cakewalk. And Trace McKinnon, I don't want to say he thought that, but it did seem that way that he was confident, very confident in his ability, um, which he should be. But I thought again, Drew Dober is that guy. He's that guy. Um, what's on the card that I thought was interesting? Mm, Outside of that, I mean, Damon Jackson beating Kumula Kirk, Miranda Maverick is somebody to look out for. Definitely. Oh, okay. That was what I wanted to bring up. That's what I want to bring up. Uh, Chris Montano. Chris Montano. Chris Montano, who is the guy that Sean O'Malley fought on short notice, the guy that uh, fought on short notice, but was able to stick around for 3 rounds against Sean O'Malley. Almost 3 rounds. Could have stuck around 3 rounds. Herb Dean stopped the fight. He loses to, the name is Guido Canetti. And people talked about how, Sean O'Malley, couldn't have finished him in the first round, and Guido did. And Chris Montano is a very interesting case of somebody that may have been given too much credit, right? I thought the Sean O'Malley fight, Sean O'Malley pretty much battered him for 3 rounds. And I thought that Sean O'Malley didn't really need to uh, put his foot on the gas, but he could have. He very could have. He very could have. And I think that Chris Montano is a guy that maybe needs to work on his defense a little bit more. And that's evident in the Sean O'Malley fight. I think that's evident in this fight as well, where it just felt like defensively, he just seems like there's something off about him, and that is what I'll say about Chris Montano. I think he's a guy that the UFC brought in for the Sean O'Malley fight, give him a shot, and I wonder where he goes from here. I think there are some things about Chris Montano that maybe needs a little bit of work, or maybe needs a little bit of polishing, but that fight definitely solidified it for me. Khalil Roundtree, bro, you just start someone in clear anger and rage. Now you expect us to believe you're all about valuing life, etc. Constantly using violence to talk about valuing life. I mean, Khalil Roundtree is a guy that's kind of, he's a guy that's overcome adversity. And if you look at the before and after pictures of Khalil Roundtree, you wouldn't think it's him. Like, he's a guy that was completely overweight and seemed like he was not doing well. And then he just turned his life around. And he's a guy that also contemplated quitting MMA and just being done with it after several setbacks, and now he's stuck with it. I don't think it's I don't think it's necessarily that. I don't think it's just that. I think that, but don't talk about all this I value life bullshit after you just run into someone. It doesn't fit, bro. No, I mean, listen, that's one way to look at it. I look at it as Khalil Roundtree is a guy that kind of has overcame stuff in his life, and I think he uses his platform to try to spread positivity, if that makes sense, and try to be a positive influence. And a lot of what it is, like when you have fighters after a fight, they kind of decompress and they kind of just think about things, and they have a speech or have something already in their mind ready, So it could be just he had that plan going in to after the fight to say what he said. Um, and there's people that are going to take away from that and going to speak positively about that and think nicely about that. So, um, well, I do understand what you're saying. I think that Khalil Roundtree had that in his mind going into the fight, had that in his mind ready to say after the fight, and I think that he just wanted to just be a positive influence. I do see what you're saying. I do think it is maybe different time, different place. But if he's not going to say it, then where else can he say it, and where else can that point hit home? You know what I'm saying? Like Khalil Roundtree is not a big name. He's not a big act yet. Um, so that is the best. That moment is the biggest platform he will have until his next fight. Well, I still understand Bruce what you're saying. I think also that uh, yeah, maybe he just had that in the back of his mind already going into the fight. Um, but yeah, I thought this fight card was okay. I thought it was good. I think also though that I'm ready for UFC London. Like that's what I'm waiting for. I'm ready for UFC London. I'm ready to get that. I'm ready to get the fans back. I'm ready to get that crowd back, that atmosphere back. The matchups are great. You got Patty Pimlet in the co-main event. UFC is really really pushing Patty Pimlet, and I'm interested to see how he does in this fight. Because the last fight it got a little dicey for him, and if you're gonna fight at this level in the UFC, I wonder how that style is going to translate. Um, Molly McCann's on the card. You got I think the sleeper in that card is Jai Herbert versus Ilya Tabora. That's the fight. That to me is the fight that I think I'm looking forward to. Uh Jai Herbert is solid. Wait. Did they take it off? No, that's right. Jai Herbert versus Ilya Tabora. Um, Jai Herbert is 11-3. Ilya Tabora is 11-0. Ilya Tabora is a guy I think is going to be dangerous in the UFC. And Jai Herbert is solid too. So that to me is a fight of the night candidate right there. Um, there's so many good fights. There's so many good fights. The return of Gunnar Nelson versus Takashi Soto, who is solid. Paul Craig versus Nikita Kroylov. Dak Shore versus Tamir Valiv. Like Muhammad Makayev. I think I'm saying that name right. Versus Cody Durden. Return of Makwan Amarkani. Like return of Nathaniel Wood. Like there's so many solid fights or so many big names on that card or big names if in the MMA world that I'm really excited for that card. I can't wait for that card. So my attention is really really on this fight night at all, and I'm really gonna be enthusiastic to talk about next week's card. Um, so yeah, if I was to rate this card, I'll give it a solid B. I think it was solid. But next week's the one. Next week's the one where I'm gonna be excited to talk about. And I actually may do a live recap show for that, just because it to me I think this is the first big UFC fight night that we've seen in a bit, and I think that it's gonna be something special, and I think that I wonder where the UFC goes from here. If they're going to go back to the Apex, or are they going to start doing more live shows? They got UFC Columbus right after that. So I wonder if this is just going to be the start of this live shows back for the UFC. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm excited. I can't wait. And yeah, I will do a live show. I will do a live show. It will be about 10 a.m. Eastern time. So we'll definitely chop it up. We'll definitely talk about it. We'll definitely react to it. So hope all is well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video quality. Hope you enjoyed the audio quality. Please let me know in the comment section if you tweak anything. But yeah. I'll see you guys next week. Signing off. My name is Tyrese Simon, and this has been MMA Renegade. Have a nice day, guys.